Hey everyone, welcome to the show. You know we love to dive deep, so today we're jumping headfirst into a world, well, a world where right and wrong, they get a little fuzzy. You know what I mean? We're talking Kade Charest's gray area.
Oh, yeah. A story that really pulls you in. And it throws these questions at you, like, can you really build an empire on secrets? And what happens when love, butts heads with your deepest values?
Exactly. Right at the heart of all this, we've got Declan Falco. Now, he's young,
Hmm.
he's intimidating, and he's running Falco Enterprises,
A family business.
a successful one. But their methods. Let's just say you won't find them in any business ethics book.
Not exactly textbook.
Think intimidation to collect debts,
Yeah.
even rigging card games to expose cheaters.
What I find interesting, though, is how Charest doesn't make Declan out to be a straight-up villain. Like, he's got this intense loyalty to his family, and he's burning to build on his father's legacy. But those goals, they get tangled up with the things he does to reach them, the ethically questionable things.
He's trapped by the legacy.
Right. And talking of family, the bond between Declan and his brothers, Slade and Axel, it's like a rock. It's unbreakable. They're a unit, protecting each other, protecting their father. It makes you think how their upbringing, in this world of necessary evils, shaped their morals.
It's a question that echoes through the whole book. How much does where we come from, especially our family, how much does that affect the choices we make? It's like, are we programmed to follow even if it leads us down a path that's not so clear morally?
Now, picture this world of power and secrets. And then Vivian walks in. This hardworking student just trying to make ends meet, multiple jobs, tough neighborhood. Basically, Declan's opposite in every way. Yet there's this spark, a pull between them. It defies their differences.
Their connection, it crackles, but right away there's tension. Vivian, she's wary of Declan's world. You can tell
Yeah.
she senses the darkness under his charm.
Yeah, you feel her struggle, right?
Yeah.
Drawn to his intensity, but then repulsed by how ruthless his business is. Talk about inner conflict. Oh, absolutely. Trust uses their clashing personalities to bring out the book's deeper themes. Vivian, she becomes this moral compass. She makes Declan and us as readers confront what his actions really mean ethically.
One thing that really hit me was when Declan finds Vivian. She's sick. He takes care of her.
Yeah.
It's so unexpected, this kindness.
Mhm.
It peels back his tough exterior, shows a side of him that wants connection, real care, which makes his other choices even more puzzling.
Right. It begs the question, can someone be both genuinely compassionate and calculatedly ruthless at the same time? Can you separate those parts of yourself? Or are they forever linked?
It hangs over the whole story. And it's what makes Gray Area so gripping. It's not just a love story or a thriller. It's about being human, about impossible choices, and the consequences that ripple out from those choices.
Exactly. And what Charest does so well is he doesn't give easy answers or judgments. He shows us these characters, their choices, and we're left grappling with it all, coming to our own conclusions.
That's what makes this deep dive so fascinating. It's not about summarizing the plot. It's about the layers of meaning, the deeper questions. And believe me, there are layers to unpack.
Well, we've just scratched the surface. We haven't even touched on a Declan rescuing Vivian from a fire, which is huge for their relationship, or the threats they face from other businesses, which adds a whole other level of danger and intrigue.
There's so much more to uncover. But for now, let's pause, and we want to hear from you. What jumped out at you so far?
Sure.
What are your first impressions of Declan and Vivian? Hit those comments below. Let's get your perspective in the mix.
Sticking with this whole family legacy thing, let's talk about Declan's dad, Jude Falco. He built the business, but his past, not exactly spotless,
Oh yeah, he even calls it his low-life way. Like the time before he met Declan's mom and decided to go straight.
And that changed. It wasn't easy. It cost him money relationships. It had its own set of hurdles. But for her, for Declan's mom, he did it.
It really makes you think about how powerful love is, how it can push us to be better, to change for the better.
What's interesting, though, is even though Jude built a legit business, his past, it still hangs over him, like a reminder. You can't really outrun who you were. Your past choices. They have a way of catching up.
Yeah, it adds this tension, this feeling that the Falcos are always on edge, trying to balance their success with their history. And then, bam, Vivian finds out the truth about Declan's business.
That's the turning point. It's not just personal anymore. It's about her values, what she's willing to accept.
And Vivian,
Yeah.
she does back down. She challenges him, makes him justify himself, really pushes him to look at what he believes.
These aren't just fights between lovers. They're clashes of deep convictions,
It's like she's holding up a mirror,
Right.
making him see himself through her eyes, someone with a totally different view.
Mm.
It's uncomfortable, messy, But that's where growth happens, real growth.
Absolutely. And then the threats from outside, they really ramp up. We meet Lexington, this rival businessman. He's like ambition gone wrong, textbook case, ruthless, manipulative. He's got this old score to settle with the Falcos.
He's like the opposite of Declan, right? He represents the worst parts of ambition, exploiting others, crossing any line to win, which makes their clashes even more intense.
And then it gets scary, Vivian's apartment building. It's set on fire.
It's a direct attack, a message for Declan and his family, and it throws everything into chaos.
That fire, it's a turning point. It takes the story from internal struggles to these outside threats, and the stakes, they go way up.
Declan's reaction, it's pure instinct. He goes into full protection mode. He has to keep Vivian safe, even if it means keeping her in the dark about the danger. It's this horrible cycle. He wants to shield her, but it pushes her away.
It shows the limits of being the protector, you know? Declan thinks he's doing what's best for her, but it's fear controlling him. He doesn't trust her to make her own choices, even though it's her life.
And then just when you think it can't get more complicated, we find out Jude has multiple sclerosis. He's facing his own mortality. The future of the business is up in the air. It's not just deals and rivals anymore. It's about life, legacy, what we leave behind.
Jude's illness, it brings in this vulnerability. He's not just the strong patriarch anymore. He's a father struggling with his limits. And Declan has to step up in ways he never thought he would.
You see, Declan changing this responsibility. It takes over. He's not just ambitious now. He needs to protect his family, ensure their safety with this new threat.
It reminds you that even in dark times, we find strength and purpose, and it often comes from the people we love.
As if things weren't tangled enough, we learned Lexington. He's behind the fire. He's playing this long game, manipulating everything, using fear to get what he wants.
Lexington's actions, they push Declan and his brothers to the edge. They have to face their own capacity for ruthlessness. They fight fire with fire to protect themselves and the people they love. But it's a slippery slope. The deeper they go into this world of secrets, the harder it is to see what's right and wrong.
And that's where the title gray area really hits you. It's not black and white. It's about navigating a world where good intentions can lead to bad decisions. And seeking justice might mean crossing lines. But even in that gray, Declan still holds on to his love for his family, for Vivian.
It shows how powerful love and loyalty are, even in crazy situations. But love alone isn't always enough. And Declan's choices in the end, they'll leave you stunned, questioning everything you thought you knew about him.
So much to unpack, especially that ending. I'm still reeling. But before we get there, what are your thoughts on Jude's illness? How has your view of Declan changed? Let's keep talking in the comments.
Yeah, that ending. It's tricky. On the surface, Declan has it all. Success, money, even a chance to fix things with Vivian. But you feel this tension. Like, is he really changed? Or has he just gotten better at hiding who he really is?
You can tell he wants to make up for what he's done, but the damage is there. And the question is, can Vivian really forgive him? Can they actually make it work after all the secrets and lies?
Charest doesn't give us a clean ending, you know? He leaves us wondering, can Declan break free from his family's legacy? Or is he going to end up making the same choices?
It's like a warning, a reminder that even when we try to build a different future, our past, it shapes us. It affects our choices, even when we fight against it.
And that's what makes gray area so powerful. It makes us face this truth, that good and evil, right and wrong, sometimes it's not so black and white. It challenges us to look inside at our own values and the choices we make when things get tough.
It's a book that stays with you. Starts conversations, makes you question your assumptions, and you think, what would I do if I were them? Would I give up what I believe in for love? Would I cross lines to protect my family?
Gray area. It's not just a story, it's a reflection of us, how complicated people are. The gray areas we all deal with, it shows that we're all capable of good and bad. And in the end, it's our choices that define who we are.
This has been a wild ride.
Right.
Exploring ambition and love, and the tough choices we make in those gray areas.
Absolutely. And as we wrap up, we want to hear from you. What hit home for you during this deep dive? What are your thoughts on Declan now that it's over? Hit the comments below. Share your insights, your favorite parts, even the questions you're still thinking about.
We love hearing from you, getting these conversations going. So smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and share this with anyone who's ready for a deep dive into a story that'll make you think. So until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep those conversations going.